Welcome back, pipe smokers, to what might be my final pipe tobacco review of 2025. Of course, as I said before, I'm heading back to Canada. So next week I'll be taking the train from Kyiv to Krakow, Poland. And then I'll be in Krakow for a few days. And then I'll be flying from Krakow to northern Alberta. It's about a 17.5-hour flight. I think it goes Krakow, Warsaw, direct to Toronto. I have a layover in Toronto, and then I fly to Fort Mac, where I'll be staying probably for the next year. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do any pipe tobacco reviews there, guys. Where I'll be staying, I'm not going to be able to smoke. I have a feeling I won't be able to anyway. And then it's going to soon be about minus 25 degrees Celsius outside. So I might have a pipe smoking hiatus. However, I will be continuing my segment of overrated, underrated pipe tobaccos. I'll be doing that once a month. I still have my top 10 pipe tobaccos of 2025 coming up. I'm going to pre-record that and have it ready to go probably for December 1st. So there will be some material. Plus I'll be ordering tobacco and doing some box openings, but I don't think I'll be doing any pipe tobacco reviews at all until at least the spring. I apologize for that, but circumstances being as they are, that's just how it's going to be. And thank you for everyone, by the way, who sent well wishes after the horrific attack we had on Saturday night. It was a marathon drone and missile attack here in Kyiv. It was so bad, I actually went down into the metro station, something I don't often do, but there were just too many explosions and they were really quite close, and air defense was working overtime. Actually, at about 3 o'clock in the morning, I looked out my window, which they don't recommend you do because if there's an explosion that's close, it can blow glass and stuff. But I saw a mobile anti-aircraft unit just speed by my apartment. So I live right on the center of Kyiv, right on Krashatik. It went down the side street, turned around, I could see the headlights, it stopped, and then it opened up a heavy caliber machine gun into the Kyiv night. And then you could hear some explosions in the distance from the result of this fire. And I said, okay, that's enough. I'm going down to the metro station. There's quite a few people down there. And as I said, it was a really hectic night. But thank you for everyone who sent well wishes. Unfortunately, as such in these cases, people died. And it's really quite terrible. But I'll be leaving next Wednesday. And I'm 50-50. Part of me is a little bit sad to be leaving. And part of me thinks it's ready. It's time to go. Regardless, once again, thank you for the well wishes, and thank you for the likes and comments on my last video as well. Very positive reviews of that new segment I've introduced to my channel, and I will be doing that monthly well into 2026. So although I may not be doing any pipe tobacco reviews, I will have some material for you guys to watch, okay? So today I'm going to do my final pipe tobacco review, and one I have spent a lot of time with, and that's Rat Raised Marlin Flake. I have smoked this at 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, and 10 years. This tin is from January of 2017, so it's 8, almost 9 years old. Can't believe it was that long ago that I got this when I was living in Shuliavska here in Kyiv, and I have been loving it. You can see that's all I've got left from the 100-gram tin. Let me show you the tobacco first. As I said, there's not much left in here, but it comes in these long, beautiful flakes. I want to show you one of them. Look at that. Isn't that a thing of beauty? So dark. It's aged and just rich in flavor. And I, as I said, it comes out in this one long winding flake, but I've broken it up pretty good over the last little while. But really, I think that's the best piece that's left. Yeah, really been enjoying this. This has become a morning smoke of mine since I don't have my beloved Twist Flake by Peter Stuckerby. I've been smoking Marlin Flake, and I can say it is a definite contender for my pipe tobacco of the year. So I'm going to read for you what it says on smokingpipes.com, and then I'm going to light this up and tell you what I get. Okay, guys? So it says, Rat Raised Marlin Flake is a companion to Old Gowrie containing flue-cured Virginias, a shade darker, greater strength, different aroma, but otherwise a tobacco in the same tradition. So it's a Virginia Perique Black Cavendish, and it is a flake. It's a really long flake. It's really quite beautiful when it comes out. And I'll tell you right away, this is a tobacco that benefits from age. The longer you age it, the better this gets. I can't say that about all tobaccos. I've said before, the ideal age is 2 to 5 years for almost all tobaccos. But I have to say, I've had this, well, this is almost 9 years old, and I have a tin of this open at my sister's place in Canada that's 10 years old. Magnificent how well it ages. So I'm going to light this up using a match, smoking it in my Ashton. This Ashton has turned 10 years old, almost 11. What a beautiful pipe. What a warrior this has been in my collection. I'll tell you what I get in flavors. I already did the charring light. This is a pretty divisive tobacco. I was looking at reviews on smokingpipes.com, what people were saying about it. It gets a 3.3 out of 5, which is not the best rating. But people either really like it or they're completely underwhelmed by it. Now, one of the debates in the comments section of this tobacco is lighting it. People say it's difficult to light. Other people say it's easy to light. I find it can be kind of difficult to keep lit. It's one that benefits from some extra drying time. However, it also has a propensity to bite. This, Marlin Flake and Bullseye Flake, but if I'm not careful, it'll bite. So it's kind of a paradox. If you smoke it wet, it's really hard to keep lit. So you got to let it dry. But when you let it dry, you got to watch your cadence because it'll bite. Well, the first thing I get when I smoke this is it reminds me of sherried Scotch. It has a lot of the same characteristics. You get the like sugary raisins. There's some breadiness there, like sweet bread, figs, and like an orange peel zest is what I get from this. There's honey as well. It kind of reminds me of Bijou in some ways, because you know Bijou has that honey topping. I think I prefer this over Bijou, but there's some characteristics there. Now, some people call this a vapor. I mean, it's a Virginia Perique with Black Cavendish, but I don't find it particularly spicy at all. And I never would have thought of this as a vapor. In fact, when I looked up the ingredients, I was surprised to see there was Perique in this. I thought this was just a red Virginia with Black Cavendish. Because it's not particularly spicy at all. In fact, I'm getting minimal spice. But what I am getting is like, there's a little bit of maple in there. There's like a little bit of woodiness. But the sugary raisins, the figs, there's a breadiness, like a sweet bread, and orange peel zest all the way. I really like this tobacco. I've always liked Marlin Flake. I've always liked Old Gowrie, and I absolutely love Howl the Wine. Howl the Wine would slightly be my favorite of the three, but I've always had Marlin Flake on the go. I always have a tin of it open. Because it's one of my favorites. It's a great morning smoke with black coffee. I don't think this is one I would pair with alcohol. Maybe like a IPA or a lager, but nothing strong. I think it's better with coffee or tea. I guess you could have it with a sherried Scotch, but it's you're combining a lot of sweetness there. Now, again, as I said, I've seen some reviewers on here on Smoky Pipes say they think this is strong. This is not a strong tobacco. It's got some bold flavors, but it's not strong. The Nick hit is medium to mild at best. I agree with them. It is slow burning, and there is some citrus grassiness in there, but not like you get from like Dunhill Flake or one of these straight Virginias or like Golden Slice. It's really not as pronounced as that, because I think the red Virginias really do carry the day here. I would say there's a little vanilla in there too. Yeah, you get that orange peel zest. You got a little bit of mild lemon in there. It's really, really quite nice. It burns well once it gets going, but you got to watch your cadence, guys, because this has, as I said, has a propensity to bite. It's that paradox between if you smoke it wet, it's hard to keep lit, and then it's very steamy. So you got to dry it out, but then you got to watch your cadence, right? So there's some maintenance involved. But I think it's well worth the maintenance. I really enjoy this smoke. I'm not sure it would be my tobacco of the year, but this has top 5 potential, certainly. Because I've really been enjoying it. I agree. There's a little bit of pepperiness in there because there is perique. You get a little bit at the back, but this isn't a spicy blend by any means. And as I said, this is a tobacco I think that gets better with age. It's okay when it's young. I find when it's young, it's a little bit, it's a little bit acidic when it's young, if you know what I mean. I just find with age, it kind of settles everything down and it becomes more, it's not so fragmented, the flavors. It becomes more balanced. Much like I think an aged sherry scotch does as well. Here's what it says on the back of the tin. Marlin Flake is the absolute pinnacle amongst classic English recipes. Dark Virginia's aromatic black Cavendish, as well as a pinch of perique, make this flake unforgettable. Overall, a strong yet aromatic flake that can be enjoyed at any time of the day. Again, it's not strong in the sense of nicotine. This is medium at best, but it does have some bold flavors. But I find, as I said, when it ages, they become more melded together, they calm down, and it's a very rewarding smoke. One more light, and I'll let you go. So as I said, I'll be doing my top 10 pipe tobaccos of the year. That'll come out probably December 1st. Later this month, I will have my episode 2. I got some beauty tobaccos I want to talk about of my overrated, underrated segment. And I'll have another one in November. And when I order tobaccos, I'll do a box opening. But as soon as I get back to Canada, man, it's going to be on. I'm going to be really busy. And it's a cold winter in northern Canada, boys and girls. Oh boy. Well, I've survived many of them. Yeah, this is a really nice smoke. I highly recommend Marlin Flake to you. How the Wine as well. Both of these I absolutely love. I think it's worth getting the 100 gram tin. You can get 50 gram tins. You used to be able to get them here in Kyiv all the time. Old Gowrie, How the Wine, and Marlin Flake were ubiquitous here in Kyiv. You can't get them anymore, unfortunately. But they're in Poland all the time too. I know Sam Gawith and Rat Race come and go on smokingpipes.com, but over here in Europe, you can get them all the time. But this is well worth picking up. A couple 100 gram tins. I would get 1 or 2 of Marlin Flake, 1 or 2 of How the Wine. Forget about them for about 5 years, and you will be rewarded afterwards. I really mean that. It's a great smoke. I'm very happy to smoke this at any time. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. If you have Instagram, you can find me at pipe_currency. Everyone is welcome, and I will see you soon with my overrated, underrated episode 2, which will come out in October. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to all of you very soon.